Thank you guys so much for clicking on this RBI Baseball video. I'm Coach Connor, and today we're going to be going over the two things that I think are the biggest factors into whether amateur, youth, or high school hitters are successful or struggle at the next level. The first biggest thing that I noticed with youth, high school, and amateur hitters is their timing. Youth, amateur, and high school hitters haven't really known what it's like to be on time consistently. When you're growing up and you're in those ages, you're going to see pitching increase consistently faster and stronger. And so you're always constantly battling to try and get your timing, always. Now, one thing that I've noticed a lot when working with youth, amateur, and high school hitters is when you actually ask them if they're late or early, most of the time they don't actually know. What you're going to notice is a lot of hitters, they're going to be early because they have always heard to get your foot down. And this is going to be one of the biggest things that as a coach, I would highly suggest for you to kind of pick and choose when you use this phrase. Getting your foot down early is a great hitting cue for hitters that are kind of behind and getting their foot down, maybe a little bit timid, and generally are maybe facing a little bit faster of pitching that day. It's a great cue for those kind of hitters, not necessarily to use in our actual hitting mechanics. A lot of the time, MLB hitters actually won't get their foot down until the very last possible second, waiting to get their stride until after the pitcher has thrown the ball. This allows them to make adjustments to pitch instead of just guessing before the pitch is thrown. They're able to get their timing and the location of the pitch while the ball is moving and their foot is in the air. So a lot of hitters have heard get your foot down early. So what they're going to do is they're going to get their foot down early. But what happens is most of the time they're actually too early. My foot is down, but the ball's not here yet. I'm going to have to stop all of my momentum to wait for the ball, then I'm going to have to try and start it all up again. This is where you have kids that are generally sometimes bigger, faster, or stronger when they're younger, be able to be successful, but then as the other players catch up in skill, strength, or ability, that's when they're going to start to struggle because they haven't really been able to learn how to play. They've just kind of depended on their skill gap or their size gap. So now, that's when I'm going to get those balls that are by me. I'm going to think that I'm late because I'm making contact back here. I'm flaring it. But it's actually because I was so early, I was late. Coach, if you're able to notice that they're getting down really early, kind of falling back to start the swing again, it's almost going to look like we're here and back. Ask them, when do you start your stride? A lot of the time, if they don't know when it is, it's going to be absolutely ridiculously early. So just have them start the step after. So if you're doing front toss, instead of starting your load or stride when I get all the way back here, wait till I get back and come forward and cross my thigh. If that's still early, do the same thing, but instead of starting here, wait till I release it. And just have them start thinking about that mental aspect of, when do I get my load? When do I get my timing? Is this why I've been so early? From there, what you'll start to see is instead of trying to slow our bat down just to make contact with it out here or back here, now, because we have all of our momentum going at once, we're not stopping and trying to start it up again, what you're going to see is players are going to be able to have acceleration into a pitch that they're able to reach. Once that starts happening, that's when kids are actually going to start to most likely be early again. And this is that constant fight that we're going to have. And it's until amateur youth and high school hitters are able to understand that this is a always constant battle, it's going to be a struggle. Because what's going to happen now that I have better timing because I'm waiting longer before I even start my stride, now I'm also going to be swinging faster. So let's say our swing took 5 seconds last time. We were kind of drifting and going slow with lack of barrel acceleration. Now let's say our swing is 3 seconds. Now my swing is 2 seconds faster. I'm going to have to start way later than I already was when I made the adjustment. So this is going to be that thing that is going to be tricky for hitters, and it's going to have to be a constant reminder from the coach to keep asking, are we late, are we early? That's something I look to ask every single pitch. It doesn't have to be a long discussion, just late or early. And they'll say late, they'll say early, they'll get set up, and we go from there. Just start making them make that conscious thought. Then the other key aspect to amateur hitting is going to be the pitch selection aspect. Hitters can have the greatest swing in the world, be the strongest, be the most athletic, but if they're swinging at pitches that are above their head, in the ground, in the other batter's box, and then taking the pitches that they should be swinging at, as coaches, we can't really do much. But a lot of the time, hitters don't even really realize that. Or a lot of the time, they're swinging at those bad pitches because of their timing. If they're swinging at that low curveball in the dirt, when that curveball first starts out, it's going to be out of the hand. It's going to be up. When I'm getting my timing, if I'm really early, I'm going to be getting my foot down early, and my head's going to be constantly moving. I'm going to be traveling and moving with that pitch almost the entire rest of the way, to where my head is not really going to be able to notice that it's dropping off the table or going into the dirt like it is. So what's going to happen is I start here, I go, wow, that's a good pitch down the middle or a little high. And then since I'm early, I lunge or I lean or I get off balance. Now my head is going at the same rate of that curveball as it's dropping. So instead of me staying here and seeing it drop 2 inches, it's staying constant with my head. So I still think that that's a pitch that is high or middle down the plate. And as that pitch gets closer, the more I lean because the more I'm early, and now I'm swinging at that pitch because I'm so far committed. It might be too late. The biggest thing that I'm noticing when it comes to this pitch selection aspect and practices with youth high school coaches is that when coaches require hitters to hit or swing at every single pitch or almost every single pitch, hitters get more into a defense mode versus attack mode. It's going to be one of those that they're not able to start building their discipline. They're not able to start building their approach. Now, if it's a hit and run round, suicide squeeze round, or one of those situational type things, I completely understand. The game is always going to have room for those types of situations. But when it's just a BP round or just soft toss, allow the hitters to start understanding what is a strike and what is a ball. And when they take a strike, don't necessarily get disappointed. Don't get upset. Don't make any comments. Or body language is going to be the biggest thing that a hitter notices. And especially in these age groups, they're very susceptible to what us as a coach do. They are very aware and acknowledging of the shoulder drop, the head lean, the looking down, they notice those things, and they're able to put 2 and 2 together. So let's say that they take a pitch that is borderline, but you're on your 60th pitch of the day. That's their first pitch of the day. They maybe didn't have the best timing. If they see you drop the head or if they see you take a deep exhale, they're going to think that it's their fault that you're upset, and it's because they didn't swing at that pitch. So instead of them getting any coaching of how to properly hit that, they're just going to try and touch it. They're just going to try and make sure that you don't get disappointed again. So that's when the mechanics go out the window. That's when we just start going just to try and touch it. So be very aware of what your body language is doing when they take a pitch, whether it's a ball or a strike. That's how we learn what the strike zone is as a hitter. You have to get a strike 3 called on you, and you have to swing at ball 4. So that way you can get that feedback. Those are the 2 biggest things that I see that don't have anything to do with mechanics that a lot of youth, high school, and amateur coaches can help their kids with. That, again, doesn't do anything with mechanics, doesn't change the drills that you guys are doing. It just changes the perspective that you as a coach and the hitters have when moving forward. Thank you guys so much for watching that RBI Baseball video. Again, I'm Coach Connor. To my right is where I have all of my information. If you want to get in contact with me, I do lessons, one-on-one, group classes for hitting and infield. If you guys would like more information, check out any of my other social medias. Feel free to reach out. Guys, go ahead, comment down below. Try to let me know you guys watched the entire video. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Go hit some tanks.